possible, had an average age of 26, which means that when President Kennedy issued that challenge, they had an average age of 18. So when you hear challenges laid out tomorrow, if they resonate with you, if you agree with them, if you think they embody assumptions that are true and represent a break from the old flawed ideas of the past, that we can really get this country moving and solve these crises that I'm going to mention and really build a new world, understand that in a very real sense, it may be up to you to do it. You know the famous phrase from Mahatma Gandhi, you must become the change you wish to see in the world. That means learn, yes, observe, yes, but then participate, become active, change the world in the way that you know it needs to be changed. This generation your generation was in important respects mystified during the election campaign when so many people in my generation said, oh, an African American can't possibly be elected president of the United States. We just know that. Well, you didn't know that. Even those of you who supported Senator McCain or some other candidate, you did it for other reasons, because your generation has already moved on to a world in which we cast aside those old distinctions. We still have work to do, I understand that. But wow, what a milestone this is, and what an inspiring time it is. So, what are the challenges?
Economy. However, the creation of green job programs and renewable energy solutions will take some time. And do you feel that some Americans who are struggling to pay the bills will be looking for short-term solutions? And how do you feel that President Obama should go about assuring the American public that these investments have long-term financial and environmental benefits?
Well, first of all, yes, we need some immediate relief. For example, there are millions of Americans who have been unemployed long enough that they're running out of unemployment benefits. And so to keep food on their tables and allow them to buy the medicine their families need and to pay the rent or the mortgage, we need to extend unemployment benefits. I just give that as one example. There are plenty of other examples just like that. But some of these green jobs can also give immediate relief. I'll give you an example of that. Let's say that the government decides to change the terms of some mortgages because families bought at a high price and the price of the home went down, so all of a sudden they're paying more than they can afford to pay and more than the home is worth. There is a way that the government could require the banks to adjust those mortgages, give them immediate relief, and when they do that, there could be a requirement that they upgrade the insulation and windows and lighting to cut down on their energy bills so they could also save even more money and in the process reduce the global warming pollution. 40% more CO2 pollution comes from buildings than from all the cars and trucks combined. And it's because they've been built over the years, over the decades, in ways that didn't pay much attention to good insulation and efficient energy use. So some of these green jobs that focus on efficiency and conservation can put people to work immediately, get money in the hands of working families immediately, and also begin immediately reducing the CO2. Now, some are a little longer term. I've advocated the construction of something called the Unified National Smart Grid. That's a new kind of electricity grid that has much lower losses of electricity from where it's produced to where it's used, and it has smart features like a computer network that allow the people who are using the energy to get a really clear sense of how they're using it, where they're wasting it, how they can reduce their electricity bills and all of their energy bills. If we do that, if we invest in this unified national smart grid, here's what we can do. We can put these solar collectors in the deserts of the Southwest where the sun shines almost all the time, very strongly during the day, and we can transmit that electricity to the cities where it's used. We can take the windmills of the Mountain Carter and transmit that electricity east and west to the cities where it's used. Then we can put our cars on the electric grid and stop using the dirty fuels that are contributing so much of the global warming pollution. And when we put our cars on the electric grid, then at nighttime when they're charged, they don't take all night to charge. And when people are at work, they're not using the electric cars. They can then feed energy back into that smart grid. So all of a sudden we have a different kind of battery. The batteries are difficult and expensive, difficult to use. They're not that efficient, they're expensive. But there's a different kind of battery. If electric cars by the millions are all across the country plugged into a smart grid, then we have storage of electricity online all the time. So it's, in my opinion, the best answer to your question is we should evaluate all of these expenditures to make sure they meet the standards of common sense. But we should have a mix of the immediate relief that's needed to get families the resources that they must have, and the long and midterm investments that will completely change our options in the world so that we can have a much brighter future. Thank you for your question. Let me just close by again thanking you for the chance to speak to you. Congratulations on being here. God bless America. Thank you very much.